Hello everyone and welcome back to the video. Age of Empires 2 is usually really fun and kind of a chill game, but sometimes things can be pretty annoying. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the top 5 most annoying things in Age of Empires 2. Before we start though, make sure to subscribe because we're on that road to 100k subs and we're really close to there. So you know how I don't like to beg for those usually, but yeah, we're pretty close, so I might as well. And you guys can help me out that way. Let me know which one of these apply to you. All of them apply to me. They happen to me literally daily because this game is my job and my life, so I experience them all the time. But let me know if you guys experience these things, you know, in your own games or whatever, in your own sessions. But anyways, starting off at number 5, we've got the hole in the wall. Have you ever fully walled your base, everything looking crisp, working your way up to the castle edge, you got the TCs dropping, the economy developing, everything's going well, and then you realize that between the two houses on that one random hill that you thought you had walled, you checked like 4 times, and then bam, there's randomly a hole, and then in come the enemy knights, in comes the enemy crossbows, and there's nothing to defend them with because you thought you were walled. You thought you had a few seconds to react if attack came your way, but of course the hole gives you no time to react. Guys, this is the most tilting thing to deal with, definitely one of the most annoying things in AoE, and especially on that hill, bro. You can't even count the tiles on there just because of how the game sometimes is. Next up, we got number 4, and this one has definitely happened to me a couple times, and I've been pretty pissed. And it's basically trying to kill a group of archers with your melee units, knights, longswordsmen, whatever you guys have, huskarls even, and then the range units, the group of archers, go into an oasis. All of a sudden, my melee units are bumping over each other. One of them's tying their shoes, just blocking everyone. I don't even know what's going on with these guys, but they can't get on top of the archers. You got one unit on each side of the oasis hitting, and everyone else just standing around getting slayed by the archers. And then, of course, he can fit 40 crossbows into the 2 tiles of oasis, but of course, only one of my knights can fit in there and attack, and barely at that. Yeah, that's fun. That's terrible. I hate when this happens. Definitely one of the most annoying things in the game. Moving on to number 3, it's gonna be a pretty annoying thing on those hybrid maps, and especially Scandinavia, and you might know where I'm going with this, but it's when you send a vill to a dock on the sides and you run into 3 wolves along the way. Of course, let's add 30 wolves to each side of Scandinavia and other hybrid maps and conveniently place them right next to where the water is, because we all know how the player will always send one villager unprotected without loom, and we're gonna surprise them with a few wolves because that's gonna be a very fair and healthy way to play the game. It always sucks because your opponent has a free path. He goes there, he passes by a few birds, some deer, takes some wildlife photography, gets to the lake, builds the dock, everything's good. And of course, you got bears, you got lions, you got wolves, you got freaking Komodo dragons where you're building the dock. It's an absolute fiesta. You lose the villager and you have to send another one all the way down. And by that point, you're already late, you're kind of tilted, and it's very annoying. So that's number 3 for me, and let me know if that happened to you a couple times or not. Moving on to number 2. This one, I'm sure all of us have dealt with this at some point, and it's dealing with Britain 12 range longbows. Now, Britons in general are pretty annoying with their extra range in castle age or whatnot, but they get super annoying in the late game. And to this point, like especially in like competitive play, where people are just so good at controlling their army, they never really put them out of position. 12 range is ridiculous. I'm getting shot from 3 screens away, and if I want to engage, I have to run right under his nose, where he's probably got 2 castles, a nice hill to defend, and of course some halberdier to defend the Britain longbows and make sure that nothing can touch them. And just to add a little salt to the wound, they've got like 10 trebs with Warwolf that completely melt any of my skirmishers. So I'm not even sure how to deal with the Britain late game comp at this point. It just seems like one of the most annoying things, and if they really get going and fight in one spot, I don't think there's many things you can do to stop them. Definitely quite an annoying thing to deal with. Alright, before I talk about number 1, which I'm pretty sure some of you can guess, but I'm going to go ahead and mention a little honorable mention here. I said mention twice, nice. And that is chasing someone down till the last villager because they refuse to resign. Thankfully, this doesn't happen that often in the AoE2 community. It's not like League of Legends where there's kids griefing literally every single game because their life is miserable and they spend all their time playing video games. But in AoE2, we tend to have a little bit more of a chill audience and chill player base as well. And so typically, people are very respectful. No one's really griefing, but you know, sometimes a couple guys tend to grief here and there, and they're pretty upset about the game, so they decide to let you chase them down till their last villager and building, and they won't resign until you do that. So what you have to do is go up to Imperial Age, research spies, and then spend all that time looking around the map trying to find all their units and eventually killing them. I'm not gonna lie, I did this once when I was like 13 or 14 or something like that way back in the day, just because I was super pissed about you know, what something my opponent might have said. But definitely yeah, I definitely regret doing that. And don't do this if you're out there as well. If you're mad, just resign and go look at a wall for a little bit. You'll feel better. Trust me. Just walk around a little bit. It's the only way to do that. Also, a little tip for the people. Okay, I'm not gonna give a tip for the people griefing, but for the people that are encountering the people who are griefing and making you chase them to the last villas, especially in team games, what they'll do is they'll hide one of their villagers in their ally's town center. So you think the ally that they have, who resigned respectfully, has a little flag in the TC. You think that's one of his units, but it could actually be the guy who's still in the game who left one of his villas in his ally's town center. So actually look out for that. And yeah, I realize I'm giving a tip for the griefer to do that, but that's an anti-griefing tip. All right, I've spent way too long on the honorable mention, so I'm gonna go ahead and move on. But I hate when this happens, and it's really annoying. Anyways, moving on to number 1. Alright, number 1, the absolute most annoying thing in Age of Empires 2, in my opinion, is dealing with the 95 HP Aztec monks. Don't get me wrong, monks in general are really annoying, and there's a ton of bonuses that monks have, like Bengalis with the extra armor, like the Slavs now that move faster, that could make things a little bit difficult. But the most annoying one is the 95 HP Aztec monk in the late game. This unit's so hard to deal with because it converts you from 12 range away, and if you get close, you gotta do so much damage to it to kill all the way down that 95 HP health bar. Obviously, it's pretty hard for them to get there, so I don't really feel too bad if my opponent gets there. It's kind of my fault. That's how I think about it, at least. But once he gets there, it's still an annoying unit to deal with and still deserves the number 1 spot on the list. Alright, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Let me know if any of these have happened to you, and if not, maybe it's just me, and then maybe I'm the crazy guy just venting in a top 5 video. But anyways, a little bit more of a casual tone for this one, because honestly, it's cool to talk about guides and stuff, but sometimes I just want to talk about the funny and sometimes annoying things that happen to all of us in this amazing game. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to help me out as well, and peace.